on. Hamlin has come up into second. With those power steering issues, the man who has led 160 laps today still has a chance on this final lap.
Jeff Gordon just stunned the NASCAR community with his honest words about Denny Hamlin. After witnessing Hamlin lose the Kansas race by mere inches, Gordon opened up about the brutal reality of racing heartbreak, and what he revealed struck a chord across the garage. Let's break it down what really went down at Kansas Speedway, a race full of tension, drama, and a wild finish no one saw coming. Denny Hamlin came into the race with one goal, his 60th career win. That would tie him with Kevin Harvick for 10th on the all-time NASCAR wins list. Starting second, Hamlin immediately took control. He led a staggering 159 of the 273 laps and swept both Stage 1 and Stage 2. The number 11 car looked untouchable. His team had given him the perfect setup, everything aligned for a storybook win. But as every racing fan knows, nothing is ever guaranteed on the track. Around lap 214, everything started to unravel. Hamlin lost power steering, a crucial part of car control. Combined with low-voltage issues, he was fighting the car with everything he had. Yet, he was still leading with 14 laps to go. That's how locked in Hamlin was. Then came the yellow flag. A blown tire brought out a caution, and everyone pitted. Hamlin's usual jackman was suspended, and the substitute made a costly error. Hamlin lost 4 positions and restarted 6th. Just like that, his dominant day took a gut-wrenching turn. Things only got more chaotic. A crash during the first overtime caused a red flag. On the second overtime, Bubba Wallace, Hamlin's own driver at 23.xi Racing, was on pole. Christopher Bell lined up beside him. Hamlin was 5th. Chase Elliott started 10th, but he had a game-changing advantage: 4 fresh tires. At the restart, Hamlin surged forward with urgency. He reached second and was bearing down on Wallace, his teammate and friend. In the final turn, Hamlin dove low to make a move, but without power steering, his car wouldn't rotate properly. The No. 11 car slid up into Wallace. Both Toyotas lost momentum. That's when Chase Elliott seized his chance. With clean air and fresh tires, he powered through on the inside, snatching victory from both Toyotas. Hamlin finished second, just 0.069 seconds behind. A brutal loss. Visibly devastated, Hamlin told the media,
"Super disappointing. Obviously, I wanted it bad. You know, it would have been 60 for me, and team just did an amazing job with the car. Just really, really fast. Gave me everything I needed. At the restart I needed. Just couldn't finish it there on the last corner. Obviously got really.
Then came the heartbreak. Hamlin admitted it was personal. He wanted that win for his family. That emotion, wanting it so badly, might have pushed him to force the issue too hard. He took accountability, saying, "If I had to do it all over again, I think I'd run a little bit lower so I don't get so tight." He owned the mistake. But that didn't dull the sting. The situation was even more uncomfortable because Hamlin had made contact with his own driver. Should he have gone easier on Wallace? Hamlin dismissed that idea. "I would have raced everyone the same way. I'm going for 60. Nobody will ever accuse me of laying over for a win." Wallace didn't hold a grudge. He even interrupted Hamlin's interview to say it was a good battle. That's racing. Now here's where Jeff Gordon comes in, and what he said hit differently. Gordon, a 4-time champion and 93-time race winner, is now vice chairman at Hendrick Motorsports, Elliott's team. He could have been celebrating a massive win for his organization. Instead, he reflected on the agony of losing. Gordon said, "I can't remember many of the ones I won, but I can tell you all the ones I lost. Those are the moments that haunt a racer, not the victories, the ones that slipped away." He explained further, "Those decisions haunt you, missed shifts, bad choices on restarts, especially when it was on your watch." Gordon was speaking from experience. He recalled 2015 at Martinsville when a speeding penalty cost him a great finish. "When it's on you, it hurts, and that's the way I feel right now. I feel pain because we had a golden opportunity right there, and I ruined it for us." Even nearly a decade later, Gordon remembers every detail, because those failures stay with you. When Gordon watched Hamlin falter in Kansas, he didn't just see a driver make a mistake. He saw a mirror of his own past. Despite the victory for Hendrick Motorsports, he empathized with Hamlin's pain.
I mean, I don't know what was going to happen there if Denny wrapped the bottom instead of, kind of using Bubba up, but I still think Chase had a great shot at it just because of the new tires and the run he had going into 3. But
in short, Gordon believed Elliott's tire advantage was likely too much to overcome, no matter what Hamlin did. But Hamlin won't see it that way. That what if will stick with him. That's the cruel beauty of racing. One corner, one move, one moment can change everything. And when a legend like Jeff Gordon speaks on that pain, it reminds us that even the greatest carry scars from races they almost won. For Hamlin, Kansas was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it became a reminder that even when you do everything right, one slip, one miscalculation can turn triumph into torment. And for Jeff Gordon to not just acknowledge that, but to feel it as if it were his own loss, that's what makes this moment unforgettable. Hamlin's near win also adds a strange emotional layer to his already polarizing reputation in the sport. Known for his intensity, Hamlin has often been seen as one of the most competitive, no-nonsense drivers in the garage. But Kansas revealed something different: vulnerability, frustration, and brutal honesty. In fact, when you step back and look at Hamlin's career, you'll see a pattern. He's been close to a championship multiple times. He's won the Daytona 500 3 times. He's racked up dozens of wins. Yet the Cup Series title continues to elude him. Moments like this one, so close, yet just out of reach, are becoming a heartbreaking theme. That's why Gordon's words mattered so much. They weren't just sympathy. They were recognition. Recognition from one champion to another of what it means to carry the burden of a race lost in the final seconds. Of knowing that millions were watching, that your team gave you everything, and that one corner took it all away. And it wasn't just Gordon who reacted. Across NASCAR, drivers, crew chiefs, and fans lit up social media. Some praised Elliott's patience and tire strategy. Others debated whether Hamlin was too aggressive on Bubba, but everyone agreed on one thing: this finish was unforgettable. The Kansas race may not go down as the most historic in stats, but emotionally, it hit everyone in the sport. It reminded us that NASCAR isn't just about speed and strategy, it's about heart, it's about heartbreak, and it's about how you respond when everything falls apart. For Hamlin, this loss will likely haunt him, just like Gordon's Martinsville moment still lingers. But maybe that's what binds the greats together, not just the wins, but the wounds. The races they almost had, the ones that keep them pushing, keep them waking up early, getting back in the car, and chasing that next shot. As for Jeff Gordon, his honesty reminds us of what it means to be a racer. Wins may fill the record books, but it's the near misses that live forever in your soul. And Kansas just became one of those moments for Hamlin, for Gordon, for Elliott, and for every fan who watched it unfold.
Here's a guy that has found a fan base and found a way to do the stuff he loves to do and let people enjoy it, and he's getting paid for it now. You know, he's got his persona, but keep in mind, this guy has pilot's license. He's got his helicopter pilot's license. You aren't going to be a dumbass and do things like that. So I mean, he knows how to have a great time. He knows how to entertain people.
Cletus McFarland started out as a guy doing burnouts on YouTube. Then something unexpected happened. A NASCAR legend spoke up. Not just any fan or critic, but Tony Stewart himself backed him. And when he did, it changed how everyone looked at Cletus. Tony Stewart didn't just say Cletus was entertaining. He said he knows how to bring joy. He built a fan base doing what he loves. And yes, he gets paid for it. Coming from someone who's grinded out wins, owned teams, and seen every side of the sport. That's a rare kind of praise. It's a stamp of legitimacy. But Stewart wasn't done. He added something that caught a lot of people off guard. Cletus holds a helicopter pilot's license. That isn't a party trick. It signals intelligence, discipline, and commitment. You don't casually earn that. It reframes how you see him. Not just a content guy, but someone who studies, who works, who masters skills most people wouldn't even attempt. Then you see the rest of the picture. Cletus isn't only filming car stunts, he's racing in real competitions. He's running in series, posting lap times, surviving crashes, and still showing speed. He's gaining respect. People who once dismissed him as a YouTuber now watch his on-track performance and have to reevaluate. And the friendship between Cletus and Tony? That's not for the cameras. It's real. Tony has shown up at Cletus's events, hopped in for rides, and collaborated. They enjoy working together. They respect each other, and when someone with Tony Stewart's background chooses to invest in someone's journey, that opens doors. Sponsors notice. Teams notice. The old school sees you in a different light. Cletus has built more than a channel. He created a movement. Over 4 million subscribers. Massive events like the Freedom 500. Collaborations with racing legends. A fan base that doesn't just watch, they show up in person. It's a culture that mixes raw adrenaline with authenticity. And Tony's support ties that world to traditional racing. What makes Cletus stand out even more is how he connects with his audience. He doesn't pretend to be someone he's not. What you see is what you get. That kind of transparency is rare in entertainment, let alone motorsports. Fans trust him because he invites them into his world, whether he's building a new car, tuning engines, or throwing on a helmet to go head-to-head with seasoned racers. He makes people feel like they're part of the action. And he's not slowing down. He keeps evolving his content, raising the bar on production quality and racing ambitions. He's organizing bigger events, testing his skills in tougher races, and gaining traction beyond YouTube. It's not just entertainment anymore. It's a career that continues to grow, fueled by grit and vision. All of this is happening while another story is exploding on the track. A 19-year-old named Connor Zilisch is rewriting NASCAR's expectations. In 2025, Zilisch claimed his 8th Xfinity Series win at Portland. He led the most laps and dominated an overtime restart. That win wasn't just a highlight, it was a signal. This kid isn't just good, he might be generational. Zilisch's rise hasn't been without its bumps. After one win, he celebrated by climbing on his car. He slipped, fell, and broke his collarbone. It was a scary moment that reminded everyone just how risky racing can be. Zilisch has signed a full-time Cup Series deal with Trackhouse Racing starting in 2026. He'll be joining forces with Shane Van Gisbergen, another rising star with international credentials. Zilisch won't be thrown into the fire alone. Trackhouse paired him with Randall Burnett, a veteran crew chief with Cup wins under his belt. That kind of support means one thing: the team believes, and Zilisch is proving them right. His performance this season speaks volumes: multiple wins, consistent top 5 finishes, stage sweeps. He's not just fast, he's composed, strategic, and mature. On both road courses and ovals, he's showing the range that defines future champions. What makes this even more fascinating is how these two stories, Cletus McFarland and Connor Zilisch, intersect in spirit. Cletus represents the new wave, an outsider who broke in through media, built his own spotlight, and earned legitimacy. Zilisch represents the traditional route: karting, ARCA, Xfinity, and soon Cup. But both are redefining what success looks like in NASCAR. And then there's Shane Van Gisbergen. A 36-year-old rookie from New Zealand, SVG, has taken the Cup Series by storm. He secured 4 road course wins before the halfway point of the season. His dominance triggered a bold statement from Denny Hamlin, a NASCAR veteran himself. Hamlin said, "Is he the best road course racer I've ever seen? Absolutely. I've raced against the Tony Stewarts, the Jeff Gordons, all those guys. He's better than all of them." That kind of statement rocks the community. Tony Stewart for years was considered one of the best road course drivers in NASCAR history. His 8 wins, especially at tracks like Watkins Glen, are legendary. But SVG is rewriting that story in real time. In his rookie season, he already has 5 road course wins. If he keeps this pace, Stewart and Gordon's records might not hold much longer. The key question then becomes, what is the future of NASCAR? Is it being written by the traditional ladder climbers like Zilisch, or by the disruptors like SVG, or maybe even by entertainers turned drivers like Cletus McFarland? The truth is, motorsports is evolving. It's no longer just about lap times, it's about connection. Cletus proves that with every video. His ability to draw fans into his world, make them care about cars, about speed, about racing culture. That's powerful. It brings in a new generation, one that might not have followed racing before. And then drivers like Zilisch show that talent is still climbing the ladder fast and earning results, that the old system still produces stars. His success keeps the traditional fans engaged. It shows that the sport's core remains strong. Meanwhile, SVG proves that global talent can come in and shake up the system. His wins push veterans to adapt. They challenge long-held records. They force NASCAR to stay sharp and inclusive. Tony Stewart's support of Cletus bridges the gap between old and new. It sends a message that the sport isn't stuck. It can evolve. It can welcome outsiders. It can celebrate authenticity. And when a figure like Tony says, "You matter," that changes how the world sees someone like Cletus. So where does all this lead? To a sport that's on the edge of something big. The blend of personality, raw talent, global influence, and fan connection is reshaping NASCAR's image. Cletus is no longer just a YouTuber. He's a racing entrepreneur, an entertainer with real technical chops, and now a recognized figure in motorsports. Zilish is no longer just a young prospect. He's a cup-bound phenom with elite crew backing, a record-breaking rookie campaign, and the potential to lead NASCAR's next generation. SVG is not just a surprise rookie. He's a record-smashing competitor changing what's possible in a single season. And Tony Stewart? He isn't just a legend looking back. He's a mentor, a bridge, and a voice that says racing can change. And it should. If you thought NASCAR was just turning left and going fast, look again. The real race is unfolding off the track too, in the media, in the fan base, in the very definition of who belongs. So next time you see Cletus fire up the Freedom 500, or watch Zilish take a bold line into Turn 3, or hear SVG's name echo across the podium, remember, you're not just watching a race. You're watching the future of motorsports come alive.
2 questions. Do you like the spray of tracks for the current playoff system? And 2, if there's something that Alex Bowman could change, not necessarily in his favor, but change for the playoffs to make it more fair.
Alex Bowman, the driver who's made the playoffs 7 out of 8 years, just told everyone the whole system is broken. And then he turned around and defended his biggest rival. That's got the entire NASCAR world scratching their heads. The Hendrick Motorsports driver dropped some truth bombs recently that nobody saw coming. Here's a guy who drives the legendary number 48 Chevrolet, consistently makes the playoffs, and has every reason to love the current system. But instead of playing it safe, Bowman went on the Speed Freaks podcast and said something that shocked the NASCAR world. "I would just like 36 races and call it good," Bowman stated flatly. He wants NASCAR to ditch the entire playoff format and go back to the old-school system where whoever has the most points after 36 races wins the championship. No eliminations, no must-win situations, just pure season-long consistency. Think about that for a second. This is coming from someone who's literally built his career success around the current playoff system. At 32 years old, Bowman has made the playoffs in 7 of the last 8 seasons. His best championship finish was 6th place back in 2020. You'd think he'd be all in on keeping things exactly as they are. But Bowman isn't just any driver making noise for attention. He's been around long enough to see both sides of this debate, and he's not afraid to speak his mind even when it goes against his own interests. The really shocking part, Bowman knows his opinion doesn't matter. When asked if NASCAR would ever change back to the old format, he didn't hesitate with his answer.
No, definitely not. 0% chance on that one. I don't think so, at least. I think the playoffs are important in creating excitement.
He went even deeper, explaining something most drivers won't admit out loud.
But at the end of the day, we're entertainers and we're creating entertainment, and our job is to entertain the fans. I think the playoffs create a lot of excitement.
That's brutal honesty right there. Bowman basically admitted that NASCAR prioritizes entertainment over pure competition, and he's okay with that reality even though he disagrees with it personally. But here's where it gets really interesting. Bowman knows he's fighting a losing battle, and he's humble enough to admit it.
Even more so, I'm a dumb race car driver. People way smarter than me decide what the championship format should be, so...
Now, you might be wondering why this matters so much right now. Well, Bowman's playoff situation this year perfectly illustrates his point about the current system's problems. Going into the second playoff race at Gateway, Bowman was in serious trouble. He sat 15th out of 16 playoff drivers, sitting 19 points below the cutoff line to advance to the round of 12. This put him in a nearly must-win situation, and that pressure showed on the track. At Gateway, everything that could go wrong did go wrong for Bowman. He started 25th and immediately ran into pit road problems. Multiple botched pit stops, including a speeding penalty that killed his chances completely, dropped him to a 26th place finish. That left him 35 points below the cutoff line heading into Bristol. After the race, a frustrated Bowman told reporters,
"I don't want to call anybody out. It just kind of is what it is. So just got to keep working. Can't have those mistakes this time of the year. And honestly, just haven't been executing very well."
The execution problem started the week before at Darlington, where Bowman suffered through a disastrous 40-second pit stop just 70 laps into the race. while his Hendrick teammates like Chase Elliott bounced back at Gateway. With a third-place finish, Bowman's struggles continued.